This is Divine Sunshine, your soul therapy specialist, giving you the keys to union. Welcome. If this is your first time coming here, make sure that you click like and share and subscribe to this channel as well. Make sure we got a lot of good stuff going on and happening over here. So make sure that you share all this lovely goodness for those of them that are on this twin flame or soul or becoming divine journey. All right, so today's thing, what I'm going to do is to look into the energies as far as what's going on with the divine masculine, divine feminine, as far as this new moon. This new moon is coming, is bringing on a newness and an opportunity. However, we are in the period in which is really being stressed to us to be able to deal with the shadows. And so that's why when I pick this card, it's a retreat, deal, and heal. This time for us, when we're talking about us being in the shadow work, and for those of us that might be new to the journey of shadow work, is really looking at those things that we don't really like, or those things that might be lurking in the shadows that we need to really deal with. We might call it a coffee pot thing, experience of a little bit of something that we got to deal with and still heal. The one thing I know, and I will go more into it on the Patreon channel, is also about as far as forgiveness. That's one thing that keep on drawing on to me too. But as well as, and I didn't see Cassidy, as interesting, one of my students at the end of the day kept on playing music videos. They were talking about girls can fight better than boys, or girls can fight too, or the roles in which it seems like, and I know Cassie talked about that, but when I seen that, and I'm a person who looks for trends and patterns, and when I seen it again, that was like a confirmation to saying, yes, there's a healing that needs to go as far as in the twin flame dynamic, as far as who's responsible for what. And what I mean by as far as in our roles, or how we've been placed in our DNA and society, as far as what the man's role is supposed to be and what the feminine's role is. And we understand as being divine, we house both. And some of the things that we saying, those hurts, those pains, and have to deal with forgiveness, are those in which are linked to a specific gender. And those things have to heal. So that's why I say right now, the energies are asking us to retreat and to deal and to heal those things. I was having a conversation with my sister, the one that made the sign behind me, said to keep it simple. And she was talking about that she had some things that she was trying to forgive. And I told her that forgiveness thing is a tricky thing. You think you have forgiven, and you kind of goes back to it again. And I could tell that she was going back to revisit it, the hurt and the things that she had inflicted on other people and things that she had inflicted on herself. And so in this shadow work, that's one thing, again, as a female or as a male, what are some things that you have inflicted upon others because you're saying, well, I'm doing it because I'm a man, or I'm doing it because I'm a woman. So those are the things that they want us to kind of really go back and look at and deal. So when we're talking about this retreat here, and I'm looking at this card, this is, again, it's got this ancient here. When I think of Egypt, I think about civilizations, how you civilize, how you civilization, how you are a civilian. Civilian mean how are you acting and have your role in being and your position in the world. So as a civilization, as us come together as a community, what has been your part? These cards have been falling. What has been your role as far as being, just being you, period? And how has that fit into society? That's one thing in which has caused us to really feel like, you know what, I got to retreat. To me means I got to go back to the drawing board, just like at war or if you're at battle. Again, like they said, the song that the young lady had played for me, saying girls can fight too. Okay, so in some ways, what is it that you have been fighting against? Maybe the ideology of people's image of you, or seeing how you're supposed to act a certain way. Where has it been that in that role that you find yourself working not only against the people, but against yourselves? So the heart of the matter for all twin flames is the following: this soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. To me, when I look at that, it says to me, as far as these energies, it's time to retreat. This soulmate, this need for, I'm surprised that they said the call is calling, your soulmate is calling you in, but not even though I'm picking up the word soul match. Like what matches with your soul right now? This is what they're asking for you to again, retreat, to heal and to deal, because there's something going on with you within your soul to say, hey, it's not resonating, it's not aligning. Now, we're talking about the twin flame dynamics of us coming together. And as far as with your partner or your cohort, that part is, again, is like, yes, we get indefinite in understanding that it is. I've heard and had a lot of conversations with people that's in the twin flame dynamic where they're stating, now, is this another card that fell on the floor? No. Okay. In the twin flame, excuse me, in the twin flame dynamic, where they are actually saying, you know what? Excuse me. This is my person. Let me stop playing and let me start concentrating on that. Right now, this is the person. And so where I'm at right now is just really saying, let me concentrate on myself until things start to really manifesting. I know I've gotten seen a lot of people on YouTube and on the feed probably are saying union is coming, union is near. This is time for union. Rather, it's union with self, union with the world, union with your person, union with your mission, any of those things. And so this is where we are right now, as far as when we talk about soul, it's a matching. It keeps on saying match. So what is it that you're matching your soul up with? The soul is the very thing that houses everything, your personality, your things about your blueprint about where you're supposed to be going. Thank you for the chime. So this has the blueprint. It has everything that's in there, in your soul. That's your real, truly foundation, just like the saying about civilizations as well. So where is it taking you to? Okay. And as far as with your person, yes, you're finding out that, hey, you was looking at these 2.0s and all these 000s and 3.0, 5.0. Some of you all was, several of you all contacting me, talking to me and saying, well, I got this other one. So you got some of y'all swarming with like 5.0s in the mix. So understanding that Spirit is saying at the heart of the matter, what we got to deal with is this separation. Now, in this separation, again, that's what that retreat means. Let's stand back. Let's really try to take introspection about everything that's all going on. Let's even separate from the drama that needs to be saved for your mama, which again could be the trauma of the childhood wounds as well, or even dealing with this person. Because I was watching a movie with Mom the other day, and it was talking about the young lady. It was something about the strangers. It started with Mom, like them old movies with Kirk Douglas and oh Lord have mercy. Oh, it's another one. It was like really them having extra oh Lord, it almost had her, had the child's name came to me too as well. She was beautiful. Novak, Kim Novak, because mine learning these old people. And so these older stars, these old movies. And so it was about them two having a love affair. Both of them was in a loveless kind of marriage. They children went to the same school, and that's how they met. And so in doing that, they fell in love with each other, you know, and they were like each other's refuge or whatever like that. And so when it came down to it, one of the neighbors had found out, which was a male, that he was having an affair with Kim Novak, Kirk Douglas. And so then he went on ahead and tried to go and pursue Kirk Douglas's wife, because he's like, it's open. So then when it got down to it, the wife sat there and said, I wanted to know what in the world made him seem like it was okay for him to approach me. And she's like, and the more I sat and I think, I'm like, wait a second, I had suspected that you were having an affair. She said, but I didn't know what it was. I tried to push it out of my mind, and it did. So she confronted him, you know, it kind of semi came out. It did come out. And so then she's like, I don't want to have nothing to do with you, leave this house and everything. She was strong. Then he didn't leave the house. He stayed there. He went to another part of the house. And then next thing, she opened up the door and telling him, you know, don't leave me. I don't know what I would do if you would leave me. It wouldn't be no me. If it wasn't no you around me, I just would be lost. And then she's like, I just need you. So he really was ready. He was like, don't cry, don't cry. He's like, you know, he's trying to be strong because he'd already said in so many words. He was the one that initiated that, you know, he wanted to really leave. He told Kim Novak, the young lady that he was having an affair with, he really wanted to. He asked her, he's like, is this it to this affair? Is this all we gonna be doing? And she's like, yeah, you know, it's got to stay this way. It's got to stay this way. He's like, but it's got to be more than that. I can't stay this on this one level. This us meeting like this. It's got to be more. I wanted to be more. And so then back to the wife, fast forward with that. So he was ready to go ahead and advance that relationship and say, leave the marriage and let's really take off and really pursue and go for what we want. And Kim Novak was like, no. And then she flipped around when he became back into the settle and the fold of the relationship or the marriage with the young lady, because he was offered a job to be in Hawaii, to be a head architect to rebuild in Hawaii. And so he went on ahead and he crumbled underneath the pressure of the wife that's saying that, because he kept on saying, I don't really want to hurt anybody. It's a lot of people involved with that, but he had built himself up to the point to say, hey, I want to do this. And then before I know it, he backpedaled and went back into it. This young lady, his wife played this role here, like, no, don't leave. And he was always saying, out of duty, I don't want to hurt people in the midst of me doing this, wanting to really start this new life with it, because this is born, this is it. So my mom is saying, she's like, you know, that stuff ain't gonna work. And I was like, what? She said, that's not gonna work. She said, because you stand in obligation out of need, and most of the time you try it, you do it. And she said, and then in the back of your mind, it's like it always comes back to what you want and you desire. That's the same thing like with this. Whatever it is that you are feeling like, if it doesn't match up with your soul, they keep on saying soul match. If it doesn't match up with your soul, it doesn't align with your soul, you can go ahead and do it. That goes back to what I had talked about in my did I do it on my podcast or here? I'm getting them all mixed up. You can settle for good, but then it's always that great. And you know the difference in those two. And this is what it is. You need to separate, because some of in your divine masculine energies, because of what's happening in the world, you are staying there because of a sense of duty. This is responsibility. It's my obligation. So let's say it's for the job. You're like, I got to stay because, hey, it pays the bills. I got responsibilities here. I just can't up and leave and just start this dream job or this dream business just out of smoke. I gotta stay here. Okay, if it's in a relationship, I got responsibilities. I'm in this marriage. I got people depending on me, and I gotta stay in this. That's again as a sense of duty. This is what this card is sensing here. Then your divine feminine energies is you playing the victim role there. You again is saying here you're lingering on because I need to on the job. All those different things, or even in a relationship, maybe somebody else is in there that's saying they need you. And going back to what mom said, when you do that, then most of the time it does not work out right, because after a while you get tired of it. It's not it's the thrill is gone. You don't feel really truly, you feel obligated, but you're not in love with it. There's no passion in it for you staying in there. So this is what's, again, time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Now get a fork in the road. Some of you all, it is some things, again, there's a separation that needs to happen or maybe have occurred between you and your twin flame, so you can be able to get really on board, clear your mind. Some of you all can't do it with the twin flame there, because again, you'll be looking at them minute by minute, or you want to know what they're doing, depending on what situation that they're in. So there is that need for that separation. They're going off to retreat, to deal, and to heal. And when that does happen and occur, you're like, hey, we was talking and all of a sudden he ain't communicating no more, or we was talking and all of a sudden she ain't communicating no more, then take the title of this. They're going to retreat to do what? To go deal with the situation, and so they can heal it, so that they could come back to me in a much better mindset and much better heart space as well. Excuse me one second. I think he's running down. So let me plug this in. So this is where you should be thinking as far as that. take the positive, take the high road, and not saying, oh my God, he's leaving or she's leaving on that midnight train to Georgia, to get more in depth and more invested in the situation. Even if they are portraying or seeming as if they are doing that, guess what? Whatever it is, you always say to yourself, whatever it is that's happening and occurring is for our highest goods as twin flames, so we can be able to have union. So sometimes some of them do have to kind of go in there, go more deeper. That's what I thought. Some of them might have to go in deeper, go undercover. He really did that deep, deep, deep in there so they can be able to come on out. So this is what we're dealing with as far as the separation. Let me get some clarifiers on the soulmate as well. Let me get some clarifiers on that soulmate. Okay, which is, again, that's why I say matching your soul. Again, they're saying, again, you're playing yourself small. This is that tribe card. You're parroting and you're following everything else that's out there. You're not speaking with your own voice. And this is what this is coming on. You got dealing with it and you're staying in it because you got this old knowledge, this old things and ideologies that you're basing upon, and they're saying it's time to come out because it's not matching with your soul. There's a higher power working with you too. Now your third eye, some of your third eye is really open, and you're really visioning and seeing where you need to actually be going. You need to do this because, again, match up. You need to mend things. To me, it looks like you need to, again, going back to what they're saying, you need to heal, you need to deal. So you need to be able to have this time and point where you're retreating away from, because again, there's some emotional ties that you got to deal with yourself and in other persons. And you also got to do this because, again, this soulmate, you got to be flexible. Some of you all have not been willing to bend over backwards. It's like, no, I'm stubborn in what I believe in. I was telling sometimes us as spiritual people, we believe and we know is what's all supposed to be going on, and we're not open-minded to other things and other aspects of it. And that's something that we have to kind of deal with. Okay, when we talk about the separation here, we have to separate is to be fair. Not only just to be fair. Thank you. You can't see. I don't know what's happening here. Not only to be fair, but it is, to me, in order to weigh your options, the pros and the cons. See, because they keep on telling me if you're in it, you can't be in it to win it. Well, that's true. If you're in it, all the way deep in it, you can't get a good perspective of these things. So you need to see what things are good for you, what things are not good for you, so you can become wiser, especially in your emotions or in your divine feminine energies, in your spirituality. This is needed. Because again, to me, almost to be fair, means to me is to really get into your discernment. And they keep on bringing this to me so many times about us, because there's going to be some times and some things that's going to happen out there in the world that if we don't have that discernment down pat and really can be able to discern what's good for us, is good for the gander, and not what's good for the gander is good for us. It's the reverse. It's not what's happening with the tribe that helps to know what's going on with me. It's what's going on with me that helps me know what's good for the village or for the tribe. So this is where we are. We have to get into that mindset of that understanding that, again, it starts within and then works its way out, not the reverse. And that's a lot of times what society is really based upon, because if you start looking at yourself, they keep on trying to portray it like you're selfish. Oh, you ain't trying to be part of the team. Come on. Come on, Divine Sunshine. Come on, be a part with us. Go ahead, be a part of the community. Say X, Y, Z like the rest of us, because that's going to really help us clear as a community, and that's not helpful. For our divine feminine energies, what's going on there? So they ask us to retreat, to deal, and to heal. So how do we do that as far as that? How do we do that? How do we do that in our divine feminine energies? Whoa, I keep on this here. Woo. Okay, this is divine truth. Woo, you got a lot. And for the divine masculine energies, quite a lot of talking. Okay, like I'm talking. For the divine feminine energies, this is what you need in order to give you the keys. You need to heal yourself. Okay, do some energy work. Okay, divine feminine. So you need to be working on doing some energy work. For the divine feminines, you also need to work on this inner child work. Look on my playlist, look all the way through there and see about how you can be able to heal the inner child. And it would say, I'm also picking up and say, not even this only child, you could even, inner child. You can look at it's only, so some of you are, not even only child things, look into your ancestry too as well. You need to surrender. Okay, surrender, because once you surrender, you create that balance. But right now, it seems like it's all in the head. All in the head, what's going on. And once you do that, you'll be able to have that relaxation. You need to balance. You do. You need to learn how to balance the energies of the divine feminine and divine masculine energies. So what's happening with the world is helping to balance out the divine feminine. What's happening with divine masculine energies, that which means how you lead, how you do things, you manifest in the 3D, is also helping to balance out what's happening with the divine feminine energies in the spiritual. Okay, you got to get rooted and grounded with that sacred sexuality. Okay, so that means with us, as far as how we're coming together, that coming together, how we manifesting, how we are able to have that body consciousness, as they're saying there, being consciously aware of things. The tantra, if you want to put that too, is the sexuality of us being in our body and understanding the sacredness of us coming together in that act, and how that helps to build that connection with not only with our partner, but a connection with our creator as well through the act. I think a lot of us have to get an understanding of is our viewpoint about sexuality. Some of us, because of things that may have been done to us, might have been abuse, sexual abuse, molestation, things of that nature. We have to come back to a healthy space as far as how we are viewing sex. And this is what they want you to understand, that the act of it is sacred. Some of us just brought that to me, and this might be shocking. Some of that is one of the things that's blocking us from union, because of our viewpoint of sexuality or sex. Okay. All right. And understanding sacred sexuality too, they bring it to me, is not only the act of sex, but who you are, sexuality, who you identify. Goes back to the beginning again. That is sacred. Okay. And if it's in divine, that means understanding that our creator source has both divine feminine and divine masculine energies. And they say we are made in the image and likeness of that. So if we're made in the image and likeness of our creator, that means we house both sexualities or gender, which is the sacred or the divine. Sacred and divine is the same thing. So that is something that we've got to work on, how to be able to merge, rather it's the actual act of it and how we look at sexuality, or even if it's what we identify as a gender. That is so interesting now, how we have gotten to the point that, you have to ask people, what do you identify with? Especially these new millenniums. I'm like, hey, but I work with a client, and she worked with me, and we doing a swap, and she was like, how do you want me to address you? She said, I went on ahead and addressed you. I forgot to ask you by the pronoun she or her. And so that's interesting how we get into that. In some ways, that is kind of going back to reset us back into that understanding of that box, check the box, female or male, instead of just being asexuality, or when you're thinking about in the energies of being divine, it's just asexual. It doesn't matter. I flow between both energies. When you're talking about the divine masculine here, there's an understanding of openness. Okay, the divine masculine energies, openness. That's interesting. He's out in the world. He's holding his hand. One has black on, one has white. Understanding how to make peace with the shadows. Just like what I was talking to my sister, and she was talking about, I just got to work on this forgiving myself, because I did a lot of stupid stuff. I did a lot of things that weren't really smart. And that's where you got to be able to make peace with who you are, or who you are. Like I told her, I say, if you knew better, you would have did better. If you knew the keys and knew the weight of it all, and the heaviness of the burden that would have caused by you creating and deciding to take those chances or to making those decisions, you would have chose better. No, and her, she probably said, no, I can't do that because I don't know how that's going to weigh in the later on. Things of that nature. That's when you kind of like, again, think about me being present, but then also thinking about how me being present and the decisions I make now are going to affect me into the future. Because this, again, is like new horizons for the divine masculine. God of unity, understanding how we could work with that Christ-like, that crystalline body, and how to be able to embody that and become one and to merge that. So how we could be able to bring, as they're telling me, that Christness to the table as far as being divine masculines. That means how we have leadership, how we work out in the world, how we manifest material things in the 3Ds. How can we make those two match up and bring a true unity of the two? And then also we have here with transcendence, understanding that things are not the way they seem. There are things happening behind the scenes that we don't know of, and that we can't just go by the illusion by what's being presented to us. The understanding that behind everything there's a story, and behind everything I'm hearing to say is a glory, and behind everything there's a reason for why things are appearing and going on. And some of us, as far as divine masculines, we think energies, we think that things is happening because a certain way, or because that's what we taught, that this is how it goes in the 3D. But they're saying, hey, behind all that action that's going on, she might be closed, but they're saying behind that, we're helping her to open herself up and to level up into different levels. You don't know what's being presented to you, and you don't know what's actually going on. So what do we need to surrender? Well, I'm giving you the keys. So what do we need to surrender into this? What we need to surrender. Clear. Well, I gotta use the washroom, so I won't be long. I just used it, but I'm using it again. Ooh, these cards, this is divine truth here. They hitting this flow like it ain't fun. Okay, did I say clear? Surrender to rest and sleep. Okay, a lot of us, that goes both ways. A lot of us are not getting enough sleep. Talk to my sister about that. But also, those are not getting that. But also in the sleep thing, I talked about that earlier. We're getting reprogrammed in our sleep. So allow that to happen. Try to get yourself enough sleep. If you're not doing that, you have to train yourself to say when you wake up, hey, from your middle of your sleep, let's go back to sleep. Let's finish out. Read, like I told her, go through your body and start changing and start turning things off within yourself so you can be able to get that. But for me, I've been able to sleep. But again, I've heard a lot of people, and that even came on a playground experience, saying that they're not getting enough sleep. Clear. So we want to make sure that you're getting that. But again, if spirit is working through you, they'll be able to, like, again, knock you out. As I say, Mom said, knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. So you'll be able to get that as well, because it understands that you need that, and plus they're going to be able to use that time to be able to reach you and to really truly do that soul work. They're saying right now what's going to be changing is us finding courage. So they're downloading, and I think by you, if to me, like I said before, the more information that you get and the more knowledge you have, knowledge is power, and so that will be able to enrich you and then give you empowerment as well, what to do, especially in the midst of it. It seems like in your communication. So how you communicating that out into the world, how you communicating that to yourself, and how you being able to eliminate those things too as well, that that no longer serves you or line up with your soul. Because again, this is about this soul alignment, what's matching up, your soul match or your soulmate. So right now you're finding courage. If you're talking about the twin flame dynamic, some of you all are finding courage to even get another fork roll, even to separate from things that no longer serve you, like in that movie as well. So that helps you to really truly understand that, hey, me staying in this is not in alignment with where my heart and soul wants to be. This is not on my true path. So now I've got to find ways for me to be able to, I'm going to retreat so I can deal with this, what I got to do, and to heal. And so this is what again is saying about this separation. Now the separation comes in different forms, like I said, separated from the job, separated from the relationship, that no longer whatever is not serving you best or not aligning with you, is that if it's not making you happy, this is what spirit is saying right now at this time. Is drawing a big light to showing me like a spotlight, and it's shining just like that, like almost like jail. And it's like it's shining right on that spot about what things that actually needs to uh say trying to escape. I'm seeing somebody trying to escape, and something like that. Some of you all might be doing it not in the honest way, but again, learn how to be able to do this. Is this something that you want to be able to separate, that you're doing it in a way that, hey, it's according to divine, that's what they tell them, with divine timing, like it's time. Some of y'all trying to do early release because you're trying to even break out of jail yourself, and it's like, no, wait until divine timing, because the way we do it, you'll be able to break all ties in the time it is. So in the meantime, while you're doing that, and you know you're setting intentions that, yes, I'm in agreement. I've gotten to this space, and saying, I want to separate. It's got to be more than this. Like Kirk Douglas has said, it's got to be more than this. This in this. We got to be taking this to the same level. I can't just be you meeting each other and we rendezvousing and stuff like that. That's not being true to me. That's not being true to you. So that's where you are. So for the divine feminine energies, how do we need to be able to heal? So that's the changes. We get encouraged, because once we get encouraged, we're going to be able to stand in our power. That's the center of the flower there, and know, identify with whom we are. So for the divine feminine energies, this is it. So what you need to do here, here's your affirmation here, and this is what spirit wants you to get into this place, which is equality. If someone cannot reciprocate my same efforts, I do not continue to try harder. I take it as a sign that we may not be on the same page at the same time. That goes back to what they say about soul match. The soul is not matching up with my soul. Stop trying to make it fit. This is what they keep on saying. If it don't fit, you must quit. Again, this is what it's saying about this separation, where you keep on talking yourself into, I got to be in it for my honor. That's what your divine masculine energies. And then the other one saying, I'm playing a victim in this role here, which is like I'm putting laying on. I'm a damsel in distress. I'm in distress. If I get out of this situation, it's gonna put me in distress. I'm gonna need people. You're gonna be almost like that wife that was in there talking about, I need you. If I get out of this situation, I don't know who I am. So that again goes back to what I do in my metaphysical anatomy trauma thing, is again, that's that secondary gain. If I get out of this situation, what is it, the secondary gain that's stopping me, that's making me again to um go against me actually being able to release from this thing? Because some of us, again, it's a thing that's going against us. That's that energy again, that say, I want to stay in there, and because of that secondary gain. And so you have to think about it, and this is where some of you all are at in this, again, because that secondary gain, well, when I get there, if I get out of there, then I won't have nobody, and I divorce, I won't have nobody watch the kids, I won't have nobody help me with the bills. And then when that goes away, then what does that leave me with? That means I got to be the sole breadwinner. I don't know if I'm able to do that, because I like being in this. Is where there go the secondary gain. You're not thinking about having the courage to get out of there, because again, it's like, again, there go my partner, there go somebody to watch the kids, there go somebody to help me with the bills. Now it's all me. That's what the secondary gain. And again, you got to think about, if again, is this person not reciprocating and adding to your journey, or they're subtracting from it? It's time for you to look at it and see, hey, this don't seem like this is appearing to be a soul match. This is us in our emotions right now. Alienation, the act of isolation, stems from fear of intimacy. Do not take this behavior personally or try to force anyone to open up. Some of this thing here is about this alienation. What I pick up from is from the divine masculine energies. Some of them might then, again, the fear of being alienated. Some of them have already alienated us. The fear of alienating other people, being in that position, it takes a lot. Just like Kirk Douglas said, I don't want to hurt a lot of people. I don't want to do that. But sometimes the only way through it is to get to the other side, is you got to go through it. Okay, and so that's what that alienation is. It stems from fear of intimacy. And so again, to not even intimacy, that codependency that needs to be connected to someone, all of those things come up. So we have to, the divine feminine energies, we have to deal with that. And we can't take things personally, especially if the divine masculine have, because that's a lot of times that's where that goes into that instinct. Okay, well, he didn't left me, he's separated, that separation thing. He off to go into the situation, like I told you, watch the way you view it, let me look at it, say, oh, he's separated from me to go, and he has retreated because he's trying to heal and he's trying to deal with that situation. And so again, instead of us going and taking the person that, oh, there he is, we was communicating, we was doing real good. Now he didn't stop talking again. Here we go. Look from it from that point of view again. No, I don't have a fear intimacy. No, I don't feel like fear intimacy also goes underneath abandonment and rejection. No, I'm not being rejected by my twin. No, I'm not being abandoned right now. He is going to handle his stuff. I cannot be abandoned when the divine masculine and the divine feminine are one energies within me. So wherever he is, I am. Wherever I am, he is. There is no separation. And just like what they say about God, there is no spot where God is not. That's the same thing it is with us. We have to kind of start really truly looking at this relationship as divine as it is. No matter, that goes to transcendent, no matter how it's appearing on one level, behind the scenes, this is what's going on. Okay, so that alienation thing, we cannot be afraid of that appearing and take it personal and then try to force it. I told you that earlier. It was on one of them. I said that don't try to force to make it happen. You got to wait for divine timing. I can't remember what it is because that was channel. If I can't remember what's happening. Okay, let me go on one more, two more. Let's look at the divine masculine energies. Clear. Where does spirit want us to be for the divine masculine energies? So in our divine masculine energies, they want us to be independent. What does that mean? Independent meaning, again, not dependent on society. Like I said, back to that civilization, being a civilian. We always talk by 3D ideologies. Is what Kennedy say is not ask, don't ask what your country can do for you. For what can you do for your country is what can you do for your country. Okay, what your country can do for you is what you can do for your country. Don't ask that. And it's always been ingrained in us like that. It's where it's we got to be a part of something. But again, as divine twins, being divine, period, we have to understand that, yeah, we in the world, but we're not of the world. It's a difference, point blank. So we have to have this independence too as well. We got to beat to our own drum and know it's okay to do that, because that's why we were sent here, to be able to beat to our own drum, not to be drumming and falling in line and going in a circle and doing the same patterns and the same things that everybody else is doing. That linear, okay? Understanding the linear. To me, when it says linear, there with this one, understanding that there are steps, there's a process, there's time that has to be involved again. And so then everything is linear, everything is it's a influential, everything is dependent upon each thing being put into place. So that's what you have to understand, that everything say everything is linear, everything is factual, everything is relevant. Okay, so now what is the ending advice that they have for all of us to deal with this new moon energies that they have here? Is the following: understand that you are on the right path. It does not matter of how it looks like right now. The path that you're on is important. Like they always tell you, this life that you're in right now is the most important one. This is the one you're doing that. So now set forth the intentions right now for this new moon. Sit down and really think about what is really truly resonating with your soul. So that way you can be able to be in alignment with that and just have an honest conversation with yourself about that. And I've had several of those myself too. They say, okay, what is it that you truly want? Minus about any of the other obstacles that you so-called think you seeing that's going on. And maybe some of us need to really get to that point where we're asking for us to remove those obstacles too as well. according to divine timing and the highest good of everybody that's involved, for us to be able to do that. Because again, like they were saying, everything's linear, and I think according to a lot of us, was this whole thing muted? Okay, I hope not. I'm having an issue with what you call it, with Apple, but I am on Spotify. I am on what you call it, Spotify, uh, as well. So as Podbean, iHeartRadio. Make sure you hit the following button for that one too as well. And then I also have my Patreon, Raise the Sunshine. If you want more exclusive things as far as meditations, readings, classes, go over there to Patreon, Raise the Sunshine, and you'll be able to get that good information over there as well. And I talked about my MAT too. If you would like to get a session with the metaphysical anatomy trauma, where I go in there and I help you to heal from the trauma from in your body, the pain and the emotional things they have attached themselves, and sometimes people have too. Please go over to my AshantiWellnessCenter.com and check that out to see how you could be able to do that. Again, make sure that you are liking, sharing, and subscribing to this channel. And as always, take that off. Okay, that's all right if it stays up there. Okay, I hope I didn't do the whole thing like that. Okay, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascending. Namaste, namago. Mwah. Love you. All right, until next time, I'll be talking to you and seeing you real soon.